Good morning and welcome to this week's Midweek update on December 9th. It's a joy to be with you. I'd like to start off our update today by offering a few thank yous for our community. First, I want to thank those of our parishioners who have taken the time to participate in sessions 1 and 2 of our Advent Parish Mission Awaken. Although it's a restricted time, I think this has been an awesome opportunity and to make this resource available, not only to our parishioners for the sake of their spiritual nourishment, but especially for the sake of the preparation within this season. So thank you for those who have taken the time, and please feel free to share and spread that link with those whom you think would benefit from it during this time. Next, I want to thank those who assisted with and benefited from the community meal that we had hosted last week. Over 230 meals were prepared and served and distributed. All of this kind of following the guidelines of the time, but especially within a season of need. It goes to show how those families have benefited from the charitable work of our community meal team. So I'm very pleased that we were able to host that, and I'm very grateful for those who made it happen. And I'm thankful we were able to serve those families as well. Next, to thank those who participated in and attended the Mary Carey Turnaround Parade. It was a unique offering, but something that, maintains the celebration of the season while respecting the attenuations of the time. A special thanks to the Village of Cary, to the Chamber, and to the Cary Police for coordinating and preparing such a festive activity and opportunity. What a beautiful opportunity there. Next, let's look to a few of the Advent opportunities that we have available to us in the coming weeks. First, we focus on our parish mission. So this upcoming Monday, we will have a 7 p.m. premiere of session 3 of our Advent Mission Awaken. And if you've participated in the videos before, you'll notice I have a little bit of an intro, the video itself, which is about 10 to 15 minutes long, and then an Advent conclusion for the sake of our spiritual preparation and use. Our next topic in session 3 is going to be a 2-part topic. And so it'll be a little more time, but it'll be very good. And I'll begin with a little introduction with the session 1 video, and then the medium, kind of the bridge presentation, the second session, and then the conclusion. So it'll be efficient and focused, but it will be a little more time. Let's just look at the journey that we've been on so far. Sessions 1 and 2 having been completed, we focused upon the awe and the wonder that's present within the human awareness when considering of creation of the universe in which we live, and that great excitement that Father Ramke had brought forth in identifying this thirst in the human soul for the sake of being in contact with the creator of so many beautiful things. And so that really kind of sets us off. Our last session focused on the love of God. I was the presenter for that session, and I draw into the focus of the love of God from the perspective that sometimes we may feel disconnected from God. Sometimes we may feel it's difficult to be loved by God. And I draw a few different kind of earthly connections, some of our experiences of love, and kind of to seeing how generous the love of God is for us. And so really seeking to kind of encourage that optimism in our closeness to God in that way. Session 3, this upcoming Monday, is actually a presentation on sin, which may not sound like something that's too exciting. Father Bachland, whom you recall, was a presenter, will be the presenter for Session 3 this upcoming Monday. And if you could say that a sin talk is hilarious, his he essentially takes the regular awareness that we have as sons and daughters of the faith and kind of goes kind of piece by piece through that reality of sin in the world, sin in our life, but does so in a manner that helps us to see clearly, but also to be kind of lifted up in that acknowledgement while we continue to be joyful sons and daughters of the faith. So please consider catching that session 3 this upcoming Monday. And because sacraments are able to be celebrated in the church at this time, after that Awaken video premieres at 7 p.m., we'll have confessions available at 8 p.m. inside of the church. Okay, so just so you know that that's available that Monday evening. If you're interested in continuing with a further series of the programs, we're looking at, we have 9 more sessions that go with this Awaken series. It'll obviously be outside of the season of Advent, but if you're working with the group now, or have kind of another use that you've been using the mission for, please be in touch with us. We have facilitator materials, some more kind of discussion questions that go along with the topics and presentations that can be attained through emailing us at info@sssppcarey.org. Okay, so thank you for that. Next, our confession opportunity. I mentioned Monday night confessions, but we're increasing confession times. We've been announcing this, but we've been increasing these times on account of the fact that we haven't been able to organize or to gather a communal penance service in the large fashion that we're used to. Obviously, the high numbers of people are something we're looking to avoid. So we didn't want to kind of put anybody at risk in that way. So we have confessions on Monday night at 8 p.m., Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m., Wednesday night at 7 p.m., Thursday morning in connection with our daily masses, Saturday in the morning after daily mass and before the Sunday evening mass. So please check that schedule again on our online bulletin or on our website, and we'll have that have those opportunities through the season of Lent. For our parishioners who are staying at home and are even apprehensive to come into the church for confession, I will be facilitating Drive One Week next Wednesday at 3 p.m. The church in the Loop. I'll be there under the and I'll be there for about an hour or so. Or if there's a line, I'll be there till we're done, right? So please, for our at-home families, consider that opportunity for your sacramental need at this time. Within the season of Advent, especially this last Sunday, we've been asked to prepare the way of the Lord, to straighten the paths that are crooked, to fill in the valleys and holes, to lower the mountains that have built up between ourselves and God, so that that path to our Lord may be wide and smooth and easy to travel, right? We don't want obstacles on our path to Christ. So let confession assist in that spiritual undertaking as we prepare for the sake of the Nativity. I'm thankful for our deacons next. Our deacons who have been preaching for the sake of additional spiritual nourishment and edification for our parish during this time. We know that deacons Boyce and Ganshaw and Siciliano and O'Connor have been, well, they're our deacons, right? But they haven't been able to be at our masses, all for different reasons. But just like so many of us, we know that we want to stay safe, but we also don't want to be disconnected, right? So we found a kind of a safe way for our deacons who are taking extra care of their distancing at this time to still be able to be in touch with you for the sake of that spiritual nourishment. So every week we'll have two deacons preaching on the Sunday readings. Those are posted on our YouTube channel. There's even a little playlist if you want to just listen to all the deacons' homilies. You can go there and continue to stay tuned. Those will post every week. We'll have two additional deacon homilies for you to take advantage of. Okay. Next, for Christmas itself. Our Christmas mass registrations have been filling up. We still have some space available at 3 p.m. Christmas Eve and at our 8 a.m. and 9:30 a.m. masses. So to ensure that you have a seat in the church for Christmas, please sign up by going to our website today. We still have our opportunity to remember one of our loved ones, so our Christmas flower memorial. So if you would like to make a donation in honor of one of your loved ones, this will be put toward the poinsettia purchases for our Christmas Day flower arrangement. And then the names of all those in our online Christmas bulletin. Okay, very good. I wanted to take a couple minutes of kind of explanation for the Christmas. Why am I doing this? Well, you may have sale of the Oplatki Christmas wafers at Mass, and I wanted to give you a little more information. One, you may have heard of them but don't know about them. You may be familiar with them, but what have you, you may have never heard of them before. So I would just want to take a moment here. So the word Oplatki is deriving from the term angel bread, right? So this is a tradition. It's a family-centered tradition enjoyed by families from Eastern Europe, namely Polish and Slovak and Lithuanian Catholics. And the tradition originated in Poland and is traced to early centuries of our faith. Today, the Oplatki wafers are very thin and they kind of look very similar to the hosts that we would use for communion. But each wafer is rectangular in shape and has an imprint of a scene of the or another kind of Christmas scene of religious nature on that image. So you could have the Star of Bethlehem, the Holy Family, etc. So this tradition kind of continuing on in America, we've simply call it, the Christmas wafers, the Christmas bread. So, but it's identified as the angel bread, the Oplatki, and this is how it is used. So just before Christmas Eve, where the family gathers with their meal, they each have. Well, let me read it here. Just before the Christmas Eve meal, the entire family gathers around the table with the Christmas Oplatki. And generally, the oldest member of the family, mom or dad, will begin the little ritual by breaking off a piece of the wafer and then passing the larger portion to another family member while giving them a blessing. So this blessing that is exchanged is identifying kind of an individual blessing of God to befall this particular person. It could be very, very specific. In one sense, it's the acknowledgement of each individual gathered around the table and God's blessing being asked upon them. This can be for specific intentions, specific things in their life, specific needs, healing, reconciliation, blessing, just this kind of an intercessory manner. And this is so that goes around. So each one breaks, and that blessing is given, and then all consume their their piece of the oplaki, which is a sign of solidarity. There can obviously be different variations that kind of follow the same pattern. Another one that I've heard is as the oldest at the table kind of goes through and does this. This can go down to each member of the family. So maybe each member of the family has an oplaki wafer, and then they ask a special blessing for everyone at the table, and it kind of goes around and around and around. So, but a great opportunity to speak of the unity of the life of the family during the Christmas time in a manner of health and well-being in spirit and in practical realities, but also kind of draws upon that holiday tradition of gathering, but doing so within the greatest spirit of the time, which is of on a natural level, but connecting God and His blessings and the gift of His Son into the fibers of our family life through this through this concrete tradition. So, if that is intriguing to you, or if maybe you've heard of it, it's been in your family, and kind of want to, we do have the oplaki available in the sacristy for $5 a package after Mass. This is similarly priced, actually cheaper than some of the sites online. So we just want to make it available to you to have that tradition promoted within our life of the. So that's a little explanation on our oplaki Christmas wafers. And finally, to conclude, today is the feast of Saint Juan Diego. Saint Juan Diego was the humble Hispanic man, the 57-year-old widower who brought the image of Our Lady Guadalupe to the world. So heaven chose Juan Diego. He was, minding his own business, walking through the countryside on his way to daily Mass, actually on a feast day of Mary. And Our Lady appears to him and gives him the instruction, go to the bishop and ask him to build a church in my honor here at this place, at this hill at Tepeyac. And Juan's just going to church, right? But he's a faithful man and was very impressed by this image of Our Lady and kind of the beauty that surrounded this apparition. And so Juan Diego is kind of involved in this, speaking with the bishop, but he shows his humanity in that in one of his kind of commutes to the church, he chooses a different route because he doesn't want to bump into Mary again. He's did his part. He doesn't want to do anymore, kind of back off and go another way. But Mary appears to him in this new place, draws him back, continues to draw him in to kind of continue her role in having a church built in this place in her honor, so that the sons and daughters of faith can be strengthened by her son by having a greater connection to her in a beautiful and special way. And so Juan Diego continues to follow through and is obedient to Mary's requests and is integral in the beautiful sign that was offered to the bishop to build this church. And so kind of the crescendo of the miracle is that Juan Diego gathered up a bunch of roses from the countryside, roses that were out of season but vibrant and lush, carried them in his work garment, his tilma, and brought them to the bishop. As soon as the bishop saw the roses kind of come out of the tilma and the miraculous image of Our Lady on his tilma, the bishop fell to his knees immediately and listened to the request that Juan Diego brought to him from Our Lady. So the church is there today on the mountain of Tepeyac. There's also a basilica in Mexico City that has the original image of St. Juan Diego's tilma. The image of Our Lady Guadalupe that we have in the church is actually an authentic replica of the original that's currently on display in Mexico City. So it's a beautiful image. It's one that heaven created, right? So no human hand made this image. This was one that had miraculously appeared for the sake of conveying the presence of Mary and her blessing upon this devotion, this building, but also to draw the sons and daughters of faith more closely to herself. So we have a thankfulness to Saint Juan Diego for his role in cooperating with heaven's invitation so that a deep and beautiful devotion to Mary can continue to grow within the life of the faith. And so we ask for Saint Juan Diego's prayers this day. Well, that's all for today's midweek update. Thank you for tuning in, and we will be seeing you soon and praying for you each and every day. God bless. Saints Peter and Paul, pray for us.